I wonder what it is that you got out of the parable of the burning house. Clearly there is a house that's burning, and it stands for the world, right? Where there is suffering and pain going on. Sometimes without knowing it even, we are like the children inside of this burning house in this world where there is lots of suffering going on. And we just distract ourselves with our toys and with all the things that we accumulate for ourselves to please ourselves, and so that we don't experience the suffering as badly, or we try to push it away. In the meantime, everything is just burning off. And then of course the Father, who is outside of the house, is the one who has already achieved some kind of knowledge and is like a Buddha or a Bodhisattva who has achieved some wisdom about how to get out of suffering. He is actually enlightened, right? Because he's outside of this world, outside of the suffering. But he is concerned, right? It's not like a Buddha who is just simply has achieved nirvana and therefore for himself now he is in enlightenment. But in Mahayana Buddhism, it is important that the enlightened beings come back into this life in order to lead the people that are still in the burning house out of it and help them to achieve enlightenment. And so the Father is outside the house and he's calling for the children to come out, and they just don't listen, right? They're so distracted with all their toys that they are not coming out. They probably don't even hear him say anything, right? I mean, think about our own lives. How hectic is it sometimes, and how much are we just coming after the things that we accumulate, right? A nice car, a good job, whatever it might be, right? We preoccupy ourselves so much with all of the different kinds of things, and we want things, right? So whatever it might be, and we distract ourselves with that. And so finally the Father decides that he needs to have skillful means in which he can reach those children, right? He needs to find something to get them hooked so that they want to come out, something that actually touches on their desires. And he offers them 3 different toys, right? A goat cart, not a go-kart, a goat cart, a deer cart, and an ox cart. And apparently those are toys that the children really desire, right? So they rush out out of the house to get these toys that are out there, except that when they do come outside, all they see is a beautiful jeweled ox cart, and all 3 of them are getting the ox cart. And I guess the discussion is further, was it okay to use skillful means? Most Theravada Buddhists would probably say that it's not okay to do that, but Mahayana says, no, that is certainly fine, because it got the children out of the burning house and it got them onto the path, right, the vehicle to come out. But as you guessed, those carts, the yanas, they do actually have meanings. It's not just happens to be a goat, a deer, and an ox cart. So the goat cart stands for Sravakayana, which is a branch of Buddhism that teaches people to achieve arhathood. Remember, in Theravada, the arhats were the monks and are the ones on the path to enlightenment. They are the listeners or the disciples. So in other words, they are the ones who listen to the teacher, to the Buddha, and they study the scriptures and so on, but they don't care much about the rest of the world. And so they might achieve arhathood, but not the most important thing that Mahayana says, that once you achieved enlightenment, that you would come back and teach others. So you have another image here for Sravakayana, where it's hard to see, but on the bottom is a goat head, and the monk is sitting on top of it with his hand to the ear, listening to the teachings of the Buddhas. And then you have the deer cart. Here I only found a picture with a monk sitting on the deer. I couldn't find a deer cart. But it's a symbol for Pratyeka Buddha Yana, which is sometimes also called the lone Buddha jnana. I'm not totally sure. It sounds almost that might be more Theravada, not Mahayana. I'm not totally sure which branch it would belong to, but it seems like the goal is that you're on this journey towards enlightenment by yourself, as a lone Buddha, not necessarily with the intention to bring others along. And then there is the ox cart. I love this picture here with the umbrella in the back and so on. The ox cart is a symbol for Bodhisattva jnana. The Bodhisattva, remember, in Mahayana Buddhism is the one who is very close to Buddhahood, who also has the intention to bring others along and share enlightenment with anyone who wants to come on this journey. And so this parable is part of the Lotus Sutra, which intends to show people how important it is to go onto this journey together towards becoming a bodhisattva and then a Buddha who is concerned for the rest of the Sangha, the rest of the community. And that's why when the children are running out of the house, they are not only getting the goat cart and the deer cart, which are more the lonely versions to get to enlightenment, but they get the best of everything that they could get, the ox cart. They get the better thing for all three of them, to set them on the journey, as Mahayana believes that that is the best way to find enlightenment and to share that with the rest of the world. So now you can take a moment to respond to this section of our lesson today.